Hey YouTube, this is Jaden Storm coming at you with another deck instructional video, and before I get on to the video, I want to remind you guys that it is still time to enter the October monthly giveaway, where two people will be winning a Glendios playmat. If you are selected, I will send you the playmat at no charge to you. It'll come to you in an envelope that I buy that has this bubble wrap in it, so it'll stay extra protected, and you know, that's pretty much all there is to it. You get a free mat. Now, if you don't like Link Joker, that's fine. You know, you can hold on to this and trade it to someone who does, because you only got one of these if your store got them, or if you bought 4 boxes of Link Joker, of set 15, I'm sorry. And I have 2 of these extra, and I'm going to be giving them both away to you guys. Actually, I have 3, but one's mine, and the other 2 I'm giving away. So, anyway, you know, please do that, guys. There's only 15 entered, so if you want a chance at a free mat, you know, and it still has the plastic wrap on it. Now, obviously, as you can tell, we're going to be talking about Liberators in this one. Or if you clicked on the video, then it's going to say what it was. Okay, so first off, Liberators Gold Paladin. There's been a lot of complaining about Gold Paladin, and that's just because, you know, they have gotten a lot of support. You know, I mean, ever since Ezel came, the very first Blonde Ezel came out, this deck just continued to get more and more power. And I can understand for the people who maybe have a hatred towards Gold Paladin, because they do get so much freaking support. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be talking about right here is the 4 cards that I feel are the best that Liberators received from set 15. In my opinion, these are the best 4 that they got. I'm not saying that if you don't agree with it, then I'm not saying if you know, this is just my opinion. Okay, so the first one that I want to talk about is a card. I'm shocked that not a whole lot of Liberator players that I've seen play it, and it is Starry Skies Liberator Guinevere. Now, it's a grade 1, and its ability is pretty unique. Her abilities is when she's placed on the rear guard, you can counterblast 1, and for every Liberator rear guard, her shield gains 5,000 power. And if you have a full field, that gives her a plus 25. So that makes her a 30,000 guard for a counterblast of 1. Now, for the people who play quintet walls, this is a quintet wall, essentially. But you don't mill for it. You still counterblast, but it guards for up to 30,000 power, guys. If you are a Liberator player, I highly suggest that you think about this card. I didn't think much of it until I tried it and saw that it is so OP. With Rebirth running around and other restanders, this is a lifesaver. Guys, I have won games in testing because of this card. I'm going to be doing some more matches tomorrow with my friends Zach and Connor, so be sure to check those out. But this card, guys, alone will save your ass more times you can count. True, you're going to ride it occasionally, or you'll damage check it, but for the times that you do have it, you will be grateful. It is a rare out of set 15, Starry Skies Liberator Guinevere. Very good card. Next card we want to talk about is Liberator Star Rain Trumpeter. And this card is a lot. It helps you do one thing. It helps you recycle your main man, Blaster Blade, that we're going to be using in the deck quite frequently. You're going to be more than likely riding Blaster Blade, you know, as your grade 2, if you can. Because of this card. You're going to see this deck, most Liberator players main anywhere from 3 to 4 copies of Star Rain. I personally play 3. Basically, her abilities is when she's placed on the rear guard, you can take a Blaster Blade Liberator from your soul or your drop zone, put it on the top of your deck, shuffle the deck, and then you Superior Call the top card. It helps you mainly recycle your Blaster Blades. That's pretty much all it does. And it will help you recycle them for the late game when you want to use it with your main man. Which, if you're watching this, I hope you know who I'm alluding to. For the next card that we're going to talk about for a second is we're going to be talking about arguably the most broke grade 1 in the game. This card is White Rainbow Liberator Ballon. Ballon is similar to Dorant from the Shadow Paladin clan, because it is exclusive damage flipper for one of the blasters. There's a huge difference between Balin and Dorant, though. Blaster Blade just has to be called. Dorant states that Blast Arc has to be called in front of it, so something like that. But say I have a Balin right here, I can call Blaster Blade over here and I still unflip. That's what makes Balin so OP. And if you can have multiple copies of this face up, you just unflip a lot. If you have 2 Balins face up and then call a Blaster Blade, you pretty much get Blaster Blade's effect for free. You counterblast 2, you pop something, and then you unflip 2. Balin is one of the reasons that this deck is tier 1. This card alone. And then for the last card, obviously, it's going to be our boss monster, which is Liberators Monarch Sanctuary Alfred. Now, this card obviously is the best card of the deck because it gets us a field and it counters Link Joker. If this deck goes up against Link Joker, you automatically win. If you go to a major tournament or locals and you sit down to play someone and you stand up your Vanguard and they see this or the other one that people play, Cheer Up Trumpeter, your opponent, if they're playing Link Joker, you'll be able to tell it on their face if you stand yours up before they do, because this deck has this. I'm not saying Link Joker can't beat this deck, but it's very unlikely. So, Monarch, just for argument's sake, Ultimate Break 5. When Blaster Blade Liberator is placed on the rear guard from the deck, this unit gets plus 10k and plus 1 crit. Let's see here. Limit Break. Counterblast 3, Soul Blast 2. Put all of your rear guards and lock cards on the top of the deck in any order. Look at the top 5 cards in the deck, and search for up to 5 cards with Liberator and its card name from among them. Call them to separate rear guards and put the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. And this ability can only be used once per turn. And also, when he swings, he gets 1,000 for every Liberator on the field. So, these are the best 4 cards that they got out of set 15. I mean, I know there was a card called Zoran, but I don't like Zoran because he's not a Liberator. At least I don't think he is. There was one thing that my friend Cody pointed out to me, and I can't believe I didn't see it. Everyone knows that Gold Paladin plays critical triggers, right? Well, okay, so we have our first critical trigger. There was another one called Strike Liberator. It came out of their Liberator trial deck, which came out, forever ago. But he pointed out to me that if you read Monarch, the cards that you Counterblast and Soul Blast don't have to be Liberator. Just the cards that you Superior Call. So, he put these in. Now, you might recognize this card because it is an older Gold Paladin trigger. It is called the Flame of Victory. This card was released in set 6 along with Blonde Ezel. And when Gold Paladin was starting out. His ability lets you move him to the soul and then give plus 3k to a rear guard. So what this does is it helps you build your soul, so in case you want to use Monarch again. So that's why I've moved these into this deck, because you can use it to just use Monarch again. Now, that also brings into the discussion, what starter should I use? I like this one. This starter is Yearning Liberator Aram. Aram's ability is you can move him to the soul, and for no counterblasting or anything, you get to take a Blaster Blade from your deck and place it on top of your deck after you shuffle it, obviously. So it puts Blaster Blade on top, so you can do it to help set up for Monarch, or if you need some unflipped damage, you can do that. I just prefer this. You can use Cheer Up Trumpeter, but I just don't like it. Now, I play 4 Monarch in my deck. As well, I think everyone should. Now, let me explain something to you. I'm not saying this deck needs 4 Monarch. This deck can only have 3 Monarch, and it functions properly. I like 4 for the simple fact reason, if I'm going up against Glendios or Link Joker, I want to have this card ready, and I want to have it as quick as possible, because I don't want to not have it. I don't want to bank on drawing it, because say, you need this card, so if you are playing against a Glendios variant, you don't get World's Ended, or that they just don't maintain a constant triangle lock on you. So I prefer this card at 4. And even though, you will dead draw copies of it, but I'd much rather have an extra copy of it. Even for the fact being, let's say you go Monarch, you use the effect to get a field, and then later when your opponent has locked you down, and say you only have maybe like 1 card in the soul, you can re-ride to give you that 1 more card in the soul. That's why 4 is crucial, and it's why your Flame of Victories come in hand, because you can move them to the soul the same turn that you're going to do the limit break. So say if you draw one of these, you can call it, move it to the soul, and then use the skill. Because you need to be able to Soul Blast 2 when you do this. Counterblast 3, Soul Blast 2. And then, obviously the Blaster Blades, they're in here as a way to help you redo his effect countless times because of this, Balin. So Blaster Blade is just going to help you unflip even more. For the other grade 1, I would suggest, other than your perfects, I would put in these Brunos for simple fact reasons to create big columns. The general grade 2s that you're going to see along with Blaster Blade and Star Rain, obviously, is, well, Fallon, 12Ks. Now, as for grade 3s, one thing that people, a lot of people debate over, it's like, okay, what should I do for grade 3? Because, Monarch is great, but you can't play just for Monarch. You need some other things. So, some people ask, well, what can I use to fill those other 3 to 4 spots? There are a lot of things. I've seen people play copies of Ezel. But one thing that I like to do is I play 2 of each Ganslot. Now, let me explain my reasoning behind that. If you ride this Ganslot first, see some people, they always ask me, why do you play this? Because if you do Break Ride, and then you use Alfred's ability, the 3 units that you boost are pointless, right? Well, the reason I do it, it's like, well, say I ride this first, and I use this. True, if I do have to use Alfred's ability to the same turn I Break Ride, then his Break Ride skill's pointless, minus giving him 10k. But say I just want to apply some big rows and numbers to help deplete my opponent's hand. I could go Break Ride, plus 10 to my Vanguard, plus 5k to 3 rear guards, and then just spend that turn attacking. And then the next turn, then I can use Alfred's skill. And then in the late game, what some people like to do is then go to Zenith to help finish them off to have that big 10k rear guard. Well, then if you do that, you can have possibly have Ganslot Zenith at 13k, which is very good. If you have a cross-ride Vanguard, that's always something that's very, very crucial. But that's just my opinion. I mean, there's one thing I've actually thought about trying to do is putting in a 3rd Zenith and then splashing in 1 Ezel, but that's just me, actually, I do have a deck profile where I do splash Ezel in this. I'll make that for you guys and have it up for you soon. So that's pretty much it. Okay, so now let me show you kind of something what you're going to see. Let's say whoops, dropping cards. Let's say okay, obviously we don't have our grade. Let's pretend that Blaster Blade is still in the soul. Let's say we rode Bruno. Let's say our field looks similar to this. Okay, let's just say our field looks something similar to this, and say we got a Flame of Victory in there. What a lot of people mistake Alfred for is some newer players, they'll use Alfred's ability when you really don't have much of anything. Now, I realize if you have to do that, then yeah, then do it. But I don't really see the validity of using his effect just to gain a field unless you are desperate. I mean, I've done it myself, but I just wouldn't get in the habit of doing it. Generally, what you're going to do is... let's say Star Rain's not on the field. Let's say this is all we have. You're going to go Zoran, and we're going to put a Blaster Blade on top of our deck. And then we're going to do his skill. We're going to Soul Blast 2 away, and put these units on top of the deck. That is going to give us 4 known cards that we're going to be pulling out. That means there's only one card that we don't know the identity of. You can live with not knowing the identity of one of the cards. But let's say, just for argument's sake, let's say we had a Bruno or another Balin in our hand. So then when we call our field, it's going to look something like this. Okay, so let's say we were at 5 damage even, okay? Plus 10k to my Vanguard because Blaster Blade was called out of the deck when I had 5 damage and I used the skill. Let me rephrase that. You don't have to use the skill in order to get that plus 10k plus 1 crit off. But let's just pretend that, Superior Call, plus 10, plus 1 crit. So now this is sitting at 21. So 21. Then also, what's nice with Bruno is when they're called off the deck with Alfred like that. These two look like they're in Legion right now, don't they? Since they all hit the field at the same time, since 4 units hit the field at the same time, like that. Let's say this is what we called, and then the last unit was one of these two. These two Balins, these two Brunos, since they would hit the field at the same time that these other 4 units did. So let's say, for instance, we got 2 Brunos. These 2 Brunos would gain power for 1, 2, 3, 4 units. That means he would gain plus 12. That means he becomes 19,000. He becomes a 19,000 point booster. And if we were to get another one of this, we could go ahead and unflip 2 of the damage that we used to pay for Monarch, to possibly use it again the following turn if we got that option. And then if we got another Balin, another Bruno, I would always put the Brunos on the rear guards to boost, because he's going to be already pretty big as it is. So let's say our field looks similar to that. That's pretty good setup. You got 2 19,000 point boosters boosting, a 12k attacker and a 9k. So 19 plus 9, that's going to be 19 and 9. That's going to be 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Thank you. And then 21, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 33,000 plus 1 crit, and then any triggers we got remaining is just going to make this attack even stronger. So that's generally what this deck mainly does. There's other things you can do, but generally what you're going to do, you're obviously going to start off with your starter. For grade 1s, unfortunately, in this deck, these are my 4 grade 1s. I don't play Marin because I play the Guinevere, but there's really not a really good ride here. If I had my choice, I want to ride Bruno, because I'd much rather save my Balins for unflipping damage. But and then grade 2, generally you're going to want to ride Blaster Blade. Maybe set up a minor attacker, something like a Balin, just to get attacks going. And then by turn 3, you pretty much just ride the grade 3 you want. what Gold Paladin has always done, guys, the main thing that Gold Paladin does is just build field and maintains it. So pretty much before you do your boss skill with Monarch, you're just going to do exactly that. You're just going to maintain advantage and just try and maintain control of the board. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to briefly talk about all the new things that you're going to be seeing with Liberator decks, but I know these deck instructional videos are overdue, and I apologize for that, but, with everything going on and needing a new laptop, I just kind of got busy. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something from it. If you want me to do these deck instructional videos where I basically show you where I show you combos or just basic things that the deck can do, if there's something else that you want me to add to these, please let me know. I try to tell you what the deck does. I try and show you some of the main things that you're going to be seeing. I do these just so maybe I can share with you my knowledge of what I know the deck does. So anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please tell me why. And if you didn't enjoy the video, please tell me what you didn't like so I can change it so in the future you might like it. If there is another deck that you want me to do an instructional video on, please just let me know. I'll be more than happy to do it. You just have to let me know what it is. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. In the comment section below, leave some feedback for me. I always love to hear what you guys have to say. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you comment, rate, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends, and I'll see you next time.